Last episode of Quick Tip, we learned about our grid lines within our cell phone and keeping our horizon straight. As promised, this episode we're going to talk about rule of thirds. What is rule of thirds? Rule of thirds is one of the first compositional rules that any photographer learns, whether it be an amateur or a professional. Everybody at every level of photography understands what rule of thirds is. As I said, it's a compositional tool and rule. Does that mean that it has to be absolutely followed? Of course not. But it's definitely a great general rule of thumb to follow to make your pictures more appealing to the eye. As I showed you in the last episode, these grid lines look like a tic-tac-toe. And with that, you want to make sure that your subject is on the intersecting lines on the left or the right of the screen. It allows the viewer to be able to see the surroundings as well as the subject and enjoy the photo as a whole. So let's go downtown to my local city and take some photos together to where we utilize the rule of thirds so that you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Let's go. So here we are downtown. As you can see, the lighting looks good. I'm going to take a photo of this pillar here. It's on the edge of a wall. I'm using this as a subject just because it's got straight lines. We can use them with our grid lines within the camera on the cell phone. It's straight with the grid lines on the right, and the ball on the top meets with the cross section. Now it's in the middle, and it's not so pleasing to the eye. So let's move it over to the other grid line. This meets rule of thirds also. It looks good too. I think this is better because we can see the street. Let's focus on the ball real quick. Looks in focus. We could use the rule of thirds at the cross point on the bottom part of the cross section, but that doesn't look so good because we're missing a lot of the scenery on the street. So let's move over into the middle. Doesn't look good again. Again, we're using the bottom part of the cross section for rule of thirds. Let's focus on that. Still doesn't look very good because we're missing out a lot of information in the scenery. So I'm going to bring it back down. And we're going to take this photo right here from the left side. Bam. Here's the fountain. And of course you can't really use the rule of thirds with your grid with something like this. But what we can do is we can center it. So what I'm doing now is I've centered it in between the lines. And it can be crooked either way. So what I'm going to do is straighten the lines of the fountain with the lines in the grid that run from left to right. There we go. I'm just going to make some minor adjustments so everything's straight and pleasing to the eye. We could also utilize our lines in portrait. So we could straighten the lines in portrait mode and take a photo accordingly. For scenes like this, I always prefer landscape. You always get more information in landscape. So here we go. Let's take a photo of this. Bam. We're here downtown still. I'm going to take a photo of my friend Andrew utilizing the rule of thirds. The cross section meets his eye. The lines are also straight with the lines of the building. That means my horizon straight. Seeing his shoulders, his body. I could move in a little bit. Focus right in on his eye. Still utilizing the rule of thirds just like this. I could put him in the middle. It doesn't look as good. But what I can do is meet back on the eye again. This is perfect. Bam. And it looks good. Did you all notice how much greater the photos turned out by using the rule of thirds? It's just a simple compositional rule, but it makes the biggest difference in how the viewer sees your photo. So one basic rule is utilizing your intersection points on your left and right of your grid lines, and also utilizing the lines to make sure that your horizon's straight, as we saw downtown. Thanks for watching this quick tip number 3. Quick tip number 4, we're going to talk about using pro settings. Ooh. Thanks for watching. See you.